Hi guys, happy Tuesday. It's Miss Brisson here. I hope you guys are having a great day and you had a great weekend. I have the article Why Pluto is No Longer a Planet by Karen Smith and Carrie Moore. And I want to start by saying that you will find this article in Google Classroom on your assignments. You will have your own copy so that you can reread it if you'd like, and that will also help you when you do your exit ticket questions. So make sure to be on the lookout for that on Google Classroom. So before we get started, there is a brain pop on Pluto that I put in your daily schedule for today. So if you want to watch that and get some background knowledge, you might already have a little bit of schema on Pluto. I know that they've gone back and forth many times on whether it is a planet or not. There's been a lot of controversy on Pluto for as long as I can remember. So that's the schema that I have. I just put that right next to the title over here. So let's look at our quick introduction. And today we're going to be continuing to focus on the main idea. And we're going to do things a little bit different today. Instead of having a chart with our main idea and supporting details, this article does not have any subheadings like the other articles did. So what we're going to do is I've divided up the article by section. You'll see I have these lines here. And we are going to make the subheading after we read the section. So that's kind of taking the section and giving it a quick main idea with a title. So we're going to kind of do the reverse today, but still focus on that main idea. Let's read the introduction first. On February 18th, 1930, Clyde Tombaugh looked through his telescope and discovered Pluto. Pluto was then considered the 9th planet from the Sun. An 11-year-old girl named Venetia Fair from Oxford, England, came up with the name Pluto. At that time, scientists believed that Pluto was larger than it actually is. Pluto is light brown in color with a little yellow in it. It is mostly rock and ice. And you will see we've got our 8 planets, and then you see Pluto right here, and you can see the difference in size. It is significantly smaller. Okay, and here's Earth right there. And I'm going to read the caption of that photo. Pluto is smaller than Earth's moon and is farther away from the sun than the planets, approximately, which is about 3.67 billion miles. Wow. And that's an image from NASA. All right, so we've got our first section. I'm going to read it aloud, and while I'm reading, I want you to be thinking, what is the main idea and what could our subheading be for this section? Astronomers who are scientists who study the stars and planets argued for over 10 years about whether or not to keep Pluto as a planet. Finally, on August 24th, 2006, the International Astronomical Union, or IAU, voted Pluto out as a planet. So they voted it out. Pluto is now a new category called Plutoids and is considered a dwarf planet. The term Plutoid is the name astronomers decided to use for all dwarf planets like Pluto. The IAU decided to downgrade Pluto to a dwarf planet by creating a new definition for the word planet. There are 3 main requirements an object must have to be called a planet. So we're going to stop there. And the focus really is about Pluto and how it's changed from a planet to a dwarf planet, or a Plutoid. So I'm going to say, and I want to keep my subheading short and sweet and to the point. So we're going to say Pluto now dwarf planet. quick main idea for that section. All right. So now this section is going to go onto the second page. So we're going to read it all and then we're going to come back to it. So I want you to be thinking, what do you think the best heading would be for this section? The first requirement is that it must orbit means to go around, orbit around the sun, which Pluto does. The second requirement is that it must have enough gravity on its own to keep itself in a sphere. A sphere is like a ball or a globe, which Pluto does. So first and second requirements it meets. The third requirement is that a planet must have a clear neighborhood or area surrounding it, which is where Pluto fails to meet the requirements of being a planet. Pluto has many icy and rocky objects floating around in its orbit surrounding neighborhood. Many scientists and astronomers argue about Pluto's rank as a planet. Some say that Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune all have asteroids as their neighbors in space. We're going to keep reading. Another argument is that many astronomers did not get to vote on Pluto's ranking as a planet. Only 424 astronomers were allowed to vote on whether to keep Pluto a planet or not, but there are over 10,000 professional astronomers in the world. So that's a big difference, 424 to 10,000. In addition to these two arguments between astronomers and other scientists is the public's opinion. One scientist, Mike Brown, said, "The public is not going to be excited by the fact that Pluto has been kicked out." He also added that even though classroom textbooks and charts will have to be revised and changed, this does not matter to the astronomers because they did what they felt they needed to do. Okay, so thinking about this section, this is where they talk to us about the three main requirements that a planet must have in order to be considered a planet. And then it talks about how scientists have argued about this and why Pluto doesn't really meet those requirements. So we're going to say our main idea is planet requirements. Planet requirements. Okay. And remember, they said Pluto has 2 out of the 3. All right, so our last section. I'm going to put my little line right here, and we're going to do our last subheading at the end. Many feel this is an exciting time in science. Students can learn why scientists first thought Pluto was a planet, and now why it isn't. The Discovery Channel store conducted a survey from August 30th through September 6th, 2006, about whether or not to keep Pluto as the 9th planet. Over 15,000 people took the survey. More than 13,000 were in favor of Pluto staying in the solar system as a planet. Less than 2,000 people voted to give Pluto the boot. That means to kick it out. The survey conducted by the Discovery Channel store will not change Pluto's rank or status in the solar system, but it does show that kids and adults have a strong opinion about Pluto. And then they ask the question, what do you think? So let's look at our first sentence. It says, many feel this is an exciting time in science. It is an exciting time in science because things have changed, but they also want to get the opinion of just normal folks like you and I. And as we know, things can change throughout history, things can change in science. So we're going to give this heading, exciting time in science. Okay. And then you can see we've got a great nonfiction text feature right here. I'm going to read my caption. Though Pluto is no longer considered a planet, scientists continue to research the Plutoid. This photograph taken by the Hubble Space Telescope shows Pluto and its 4 moons. There it is, and there's its 4 moons. The 4th moon, currently known as P4, was discovered in June 2011. Okay, so for your exit ticket questions, I've given you the main idea of the article. I want you to give me 3 supporting details that support the main idea. So you're going to have to go into the document and you're going to have to read that main idea. I also want to know, what's your opinion? What do you think of all of this? What's your opinion? Do you think Pluto is a planet? Or do you think it's not a planet? And I want to know why. So make sure you answer your exit tickets. And like I said, a copy of this article will be on Google Classroom for you so that you can reread it if you'd like. All right, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.